Elon Musk plans to establish a university in Austin, Texas, focusing on STEM education. Funded by a $100 million contribution from Musk's charity, the foundation, the university aims to provide high level education in math, science, and engineering and physics. This initiative follows Musk's history in education, notably the founding of Ad Astra and Astronova schools. The university is set to offer experience facility and hands-on learning experience as part of Musk's broader vision to enhance STEM education, starting with a primary and secondary school. That and many, many more stories tonight. You're listening to Geek News Central, episode 1711 for Thursday, December 14th. I'm your host, Todd Cochran. A big shout out to our primary sponsor at GoDaddy.com, powering our geeky endeavors. Grab some jaw-dropping deals at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And to all of our awesome listeners, you're the real MVPs. Back us up at geeknewscentral.com/insider by becoming a GNC Insider. An important announcement tonight. Following the intro of the show, please stand by. If you're feeling the buzz, we're lit and live with those fresh modern podcast apps from podcastapps.com. Join our Value for Value movement just by hopping onto a fresh podcast app. Get one today. To all our amazing listeners out there, big virtual hug. Dive into our digital hub at geeknewscentral.com. Get on board and don't forget to follow or subscribe via your favorite podcast app. And of course, sign up for our newsletter while you're there. You can always slide into the chat room at geeknews.chat. We've got that social integration going on. Learn about that with Podcasting 2.0 with those podcastingapps.com. And if you have feedback, geeknews@gmail.com, or catch me on X at geeknews, or find me lounging on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our partner shows, all linked at Geek News Central. Of course, and a massive salute to GoDaddy, the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast, where savings begin, but the savings are not going to be as big as they used to be. GoDaddy has made some major changes to the program, and I don't know how long this is going to last. This notice came down earlier this week. I knew it was going to happen. I've had a conversation a little bit with my GoDaddy rep, and I think what it really boils down to is the economy. And I think they are at a point now where they're established in such a way that they don't have to give as many big discounts. But what does that mean for you and I? Well, not quite sure. I've had these forebodings of things like this that have happened where there's been big changes over the years, and I've always been wary of what could progress. So now, more than ever, I need you, if you have not considered picking up a GoDaddy product or service, to consider doing so today. Here's the deal. As they have changed it, although they have sweetened the accessories or extra stuff that you get, the new deals are outlined as $6.99 a month economy hosting. $6.99 a month economy hosting includes that free domain, $11.99 value for that. You get a professional email account and an SSL certificate for the first year. So $6.99 a month economy hosting, free domain, professional email, and an SSL certificate for the first year. Now, the managed WordPress hosting has increased dramatically. It has went to $12.99 a month. $12.99 a month managed WordPress hosting. And again, you get a free domain, professional email, and SSL certificate for the first year. Those two deals have jumped dramatically. Remember, they were $1.99 and $2.99. Now they're $6.99 and $12.99 a month. Now the only delta here that's going to happen is the price does not increase on your renewal year. So even though you got that deal before where it was $1.99, $2.99 a month, now with it $6.99 and $12.99, the deal remains the same at renewal. You won't see an increase in price. So a little more to get started, but still, this is, in my opinion, and from what I've done some research over the past couple of days, these are some of the best hosting deals on the market. Now, the domain name price has jumped to $11.99. Okay, $11.99 for the domain name. And your GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal, business, and business plus, that's still a 1-month free trial. All right, so those were the deals have changed. And we definitely appreciate GoDaddy for being the longtime sponsor here at the podcast. We've had a very, very long run. And I don't know what this means in the end with them changing these prices like this. But this across the board, I asked the rep, is anyone else getting any special deals, any special discounts that I have to worry about competing against? And the answer was no. So this is across the board. And having front page pricing for all of my promo codes. So now, please share these codes with your friends, family members, people that you know. Maybe this makes for a very interesting Christmas present. If you haven't decided what to get someone yet, get them a website, get them a domain name, get them started online, have them build their brand on their .com. In today's age of people being deplatformed, it's very, very important to have basically your point of presence, your place where you live, where you send people to for your online activities. And if you've got an online site, if you're already on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you may be, and you build a big presence there, it's never too late to establish your own website. Now, these deals are what they're locked in for right now, and definitely need your support, because just like anything else, they make this type of a change, I still have to hit performance standards. So I hope that you'll all support me in this endeavor and allowing me to keep the lights on, the insurance paid. That's all important. And we definitely appreciate GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here and ongoing long-term success with them. All right, before we get into the show content, I got a notice from Livestream, which is now owned by Vimeo, that Livestream would not be renewing our product and services with them. So I know we have a large number of people that listen to the show over on Livestream still. You need to move. I don't know when my contract's up. I'll have to look. But my Livestream appliance device that I use to strive will go dead. It'll be just basically, the device will be worth the paperweight, throw up the trash. It'll make it to the backstage there somewhere as, basically an item that has seen its time. And we've streamed on Livestream for many, many years. And the price to move to Vimeo is, in my opinion, too high. Because there's too many options out there to be able to be on Twitch, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. Just does not make any sense to renew and spend almost $900 a year to move to Vimeo. So if you're watching the show on Livestream and consuming the show on Livestream, it's time to get you one of those newfangled podcasting apps at podcastapps.com and move to that platform. At the same time, there's lots of things going on in that space, some interesting innovations and discussions. We may have something for you in the near future where you can watch the live stream in a multiple places on these podcasting apps. Now, today, if you are on the apps that support live video, you can watch the show live on those apps right now, utilizing what we call as an HLS server. And if I do execution correctly, within about a month, we can reduce. I can basically reduce another expense here. So that's kind of the plan, and as some of this innovation is allowing me to save money, while at the same time, um, we're definitely going to be looking at every expense here going forward, just in case the chopping block comes. And if the chopping block comes, then we're definitely going to be moving into a different strategy for support for the show here. Um, that's all I'll say at this point. And it has not happened yet, but time will tell. If they have stopped all the promotion with my main sponsor and saving deals, that does not necessarily bode well 100% for long-term relationships here. We're just going to keep our fingers crossed. But maybe this is just a short-term thing. They're seeing what happens, see what type of turnover they get without the promotion going on, and because people are going to search for deals, no matter where they go today. So anyway, that's where we're at, where things are happening. And Merry Christmas to all. Happy holidays. December 14th, show number 1711. And got a good lineup of stuff for you today. And I want to again thank all of you for your ongoing support. And of course, commentary back. Kirk sent me a note saying thank me for the shout out on the last show. And again, I'm wishing him the best endeavors. Now, if you've sent some comments to the show, I'm 3,000 emails behind on the geeknews@gmail account. I meant to get it knocked out this week, but just did not. I have still one thing to do tonight after I wrap up things here, in order to basically be caught up for just the end of the week. So it tells you how busy I am. All right. So, yeah, Elon wants to open a university. And, based on all the stuff that's been happening in the world with the controversy at Yale and Harvard and MIT, I think parents and students of certain political persuasions may be looking for different places to send their kids to school or kids to go to school. There's a lot of activism happening and it has been going on for a long while. And I think, from my opinion, of course, my son just graduated firefighter school, and I posted something on Facebook for that. Congratulations to him, and cross my fingers. Has done his interview. They had 100 people apply for 26 spots on a federal firefighter class. So we'll see if he makes it in. But I think we all want our kids, and especially now I've got grandchildren, to get an education. And it's an education. It's not a political indoctrination. So maybe Musk in the STEM schools, and again, this is a K-12 is where he is starting. Maybe this is going to be fundamentals. We need more students in the United States that are focused on the basics: math, science, engineering, physics. It's all, this is where the future is. And so, and I think we're going to start seeing more of this type of stuff pop up. I think it's time for education to shift in America. In order to remain competitive, we're going to need to have schools that are more highly focused. And I'm a product of public education. Believe me, I did not have a silver spoon in my mouth. I was matter of fact, private schools. The only thing that was private in my area at the time was church schools, and I have friends that did very well and have went on to college and came out of those environments that have done exceptionally well throughout the years in adult life. But I just wonder if it's time for a big change, and maybe this is what Elon's thoughts are too. This has been in work for a while. This isn't um, a reaction to recent news. He filed, or his company filed for this in October 2022. So it's been in work for a while. Humana, this is the scary part. Let me just warn everyone. You and your health and your health care and your right to be treated is largely dependent upon you in this country. It's horrible. But Humana is now faced with a class action lawsuit for allegedly using AI to deny recommended rehabilitation care for Medicare Advantage patients. Now, I don't know anything about Medicare Advantage, to be honest with you. I don't even try to understand. But this is the second major health insurer to be sued over using AI to restrict necessary care for Medicare Advantage patients, following a similar case against United Health Group. The lawsuit highlights growing scrutiny of how insurers employ AI tools for coverage decisions while regulators struggle to keep up. Joanne Barros, an 86-year-old plaintiff, experienced a denial of her post-acute care and rehabilitation treatment, causing her health to deteriorate. I think we all understand that when you are older in life and you go through a major medical situation, with proper treatment, most people have a very long life to live ahead of them, 86 or not. And if you go to physical therapy, whatever that rehabilitation is, when my mom broke her wrist at 80, yes, it set her back, but she went through, got everything taken care of medically, and then the rehabilitation, and she went to post-treatment that was paid for by the insurance. And the PT that she was, in her words, brutal, but necessary. And today, she has a fully functional hand, not detrimental to anything that she does. But without that post treatment, her hand may not have ever completely recovered. The plaintiff seeks damages in an order to stop Humana from using the algorithm. Humana maintains it's using augmented intelligence and includes human input and decision making. Government bodies, include Congress and the administration, are concerned about Medicare Advantage coverage denials and are calling for stricter oversight. They want to replace claims adjusters with AI. It's already been hard enough. My sister and her daughter, and the battle that my sister has done with insurance companies, literally now for 13 or 14 years since she was involved in the accident that took my father. She has piles of documents and spent countless hours on the phone, literally thousands of hours on the phone with insurance adjusters for years. And this is where you get someone on the phone and you say, hey, you don't know the history of this case because you've only been working this file for 3 weeks. But let me get you caught up of the 15 surgeries, the long-term care, the long-term disability, all this stuff. And you have to have a patient advocate. And when you can't talk to someone and the decision's being made by a machine, we have to be very careful in this country. Because at some point, when does the AI say, when you're having a stroke and you go to the emergency room and all of a sudden they say, hey, he's too old. He's having a stroke. Don't treat him. Push him out back and let him die. When does that happen? Need hip surgery. When does that get denied by AI? We have some of this stuff we have to be very, very careful of and not remove the human in over at Humana from the equation. And Medicare Advantage patients, I'm sure, are in a situation where they are likely on fixed budgets. They probably don't have a lot of advocacy. They don't know what to do to basically complain and get their doctor authorized treatment. And this is the case when insurance companies go against doctors. When insurance companies, you're paying for this insurance, or you have this insurance because maybe of your financial situation, and the doctor recommends something, and the machine thinks it knows better than the doctor, we're doomed. So I hope they sue the crap out of them. I can't even tell you the cost of healthcare, how it's went up for my company. I think this year it's like another 11%, and it just compounds. It's out of control. And you start looking at it, you're like, wow, look what I'm spending every year. It's this whole healthcare system in the United States is broke. It's broke. Let's move on to something more positive. Cable service cancellation fees might be on the way out. The FCC could soon stop cable companies from finding customers who cancel subscriptions early. In a release on Wednesday, the FCC voted to move forward with a rule that eliminates junk fees from cable and satellite providers. The rule, which FCC Chair Jessica Rosenworcel first proposed last month, tackles the fee cable and satellite providers sometimes charge when customers cancel their subscription before the end of a contract. In addition to doing away with early termination fees, the proposed rule would also require providers to give subscribers a prorated credit or rebate for the number of days left in their billing cycle upon cancellation. The rule is passed in a 3-2 vote. The new rules comes as the administration goes after junk fees across various services in cable, internet bills, concert tickets, and more. Cable and satellite providers often implement early termination fees to prevent customers from canceling their service. I don't know if this includes if you're on a contract or not, or if it's just a mid-month cancellation. This is an interesting. Opera, Opera, Opera GX browser adds a boss button for instantly hiding your games or other stuff. This so-called panic button is very interesting. So if you're in the office and doing something you shouldn't be on your computer and fear the evil eye of your boss or HR or someone else creeping up behind you in your cube, you might be aware of the boss button. It's a dedicated button or shortcut that can instantly hide whatever you're doing and replace it, say, with a spreadsheet. But Opera is bringing it to a generation of slackers, a.k.a. gamers, with its Opera GX browser. The Opera GX sets your F12 key to panic mode. So, oftentimes people are looking at porn or other stuff that they shouldn't be at work, which ultimately would get you fired, I am sure. Much easy. Just do your job. Save that for the evening when you get home. Have a good idea for an AI startup? OpenAI wants to give you $1 million. They're opening the door for prospective startup founders, even those without any prior AI experience, to apply to receive $1 million funding boost and exclusive informational education resources from a startup fund in exchange for participating in a maximum of 6 hour per week, 6-week long program. You get $1 million. It's a startup fund. How about companies that are already in business? How about $1 million infusion? I am sure that there's probably some equity that you have to give up. I'm sure. But have an idea? Quick way to get $1 million. But they're only going to do 10 to 15 companies, okay? Over at Lifehacker, they've got what's new on Netflix in January 2024. What's coming? Link will be in the show notes for that. I'm not going to go through the movies. But Netflix trailer for Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley shows a high-octane 80s action reboot. So Alex Foley is back. Eddie Murphy has returned to Beverly Hills once again. And it's like the 80s never ended. The new Netflix movie is a typically serious-sounding plot. But all the crazy characters. And you'll be able to stream Beverly Hills Cop Axel F for summer of 2024, coming to Netflix. ChatGPT has now fixed a major outage and reopened its Plus subscription. One of our team members couldn't log in for a couple of weeks, which is weird. But it's back after a major outage. So if you couldn't get into it, they definitely had some problems. Sadly, if you're not paying for YouTube Premium, YouTube will have fewer ad breaks on TV, but the ads are getting longer. So next time you set to watch YouTube on your TV, you might notice fewer ad breaks. But again, longer ones. And it means you'll see an updated countdown timer in the bottom right corner of your screen that now shows how long you have left until the entire ad breaks or when you can skip. So be aware of that, all right? Over in Ars Technica, an internet video purportedly shows a tornado being blown up. Is that possible? Well, let me set the scenario. This tornado occurred between Madison and Goodlettsville, just north of Nashville, east of I-65. What is shown in the video is a tornado striking a power substation, followed by an impressive explosion. But the power substation belonged to Nashville Electric Service, but they feel that the tornado was disrupted for maybe a second or two, at least the bottom of the funnel, and pretty impressive none the least. But people are asking, can you blow up a tornado? No, the same way you can't blow up a hurricane with a nuclear weapon. Just doesn't work that way. Mother Nature is pretty doggone strong and takes a serious wallop. And of course, you're not going to drop a nuclear weapon inside a tornado because, usually tornadoes over land and probably not the best form of utilization of resources, right? Anyway, link will be in the show notes. If you're watching online today, make sure you check in and say hello. I see you guys sneaking in there, but no one's commenting. Make sure you say hello. There's a sneaky malware hijacks a Google form, demand money, and nasty phishing scheme. Scam evades detection by pretending to be from Google. A new version of the bizarre call, a phishing attack designed to take money from victims, been observed. This time, hijacking Google Forms to generate fake payment receipts or to make malicious phishing attacks look more legitimate. And people are opting to pay between $49.99 and $500, mostly to people in India and Pakistan, where they are running call centers and trying to separate you from your money. This is an interesting one, and I didn't get the full article because I'm not subscribed. It's over at 404media.co. Polish hackers repaired a train the manufacturer artificially bricked. Now the train company is threatening them. So what happened was a regional rail company in southwest Poland used hackers to unbrick a train that had been artificially rendered inoperable by the train's manufacturer after an independent maintenance company worked on it. The train's manufacturer was not happy that an independent company worked on it, and they said, hey, we're not liable. We're going to shut this down. Well, the hackers found a workaround, got the trains back in operation, and now the train's manufacturer is now threatening to sue the hackers who were hired by the independent repair company to fix it. The follow-up in the situation is currently roiling Polish infrastructure circles in the repair world, with the manufacturer of those trains denying breaking the trains despite ample evidence to the contrary. The manufacturer is also demanding the repaired trains immediately be removed from service because they've been hacked and thus might now be unsafe, a claim that they also cannot substantiate. This is the right to repair, but on a bigger scale. And good for those Polish hackers for whack-a-mole. Amazon's Project Kuiper confirms that super-fast satellite communication tech works in space. That tech is called optical inter-satellite links. I think this is what Starlink uses, a type of optical communication that uses infrared lasers, send data between spacecraft. They are able to do a connection, transfer stuff at about 100 gigs per second, over 600 miles. And basically, they say this thing is good to go, and they'll be able to work this in with the rest of their satellites that they're going to start putting up some of those on SpaceX platform as well. All right, what is the current version of the Google Pixel phone? I'm not sure what version they're on, but I think Pixel 8 is older, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Google's launched a Pixel diagnostic app, repair manuals in English, that basically allows you to enter repair mode and basically see what's going on with your phone. Now, the Pixel diagnostic app is launched by entering a code *## 7287 #* into the phone dialer. It lets you perform diagnostics on your Pixel before and after a repair. All Pixel phones, locations that this works in is US, UK, Canada, Australia, and European countries or regions where Pixel devices are available. So maybe just this manual shows Pixel 8. Maybe this is for all Pixel phones. Oh, in the US, the guides are for Pixel 8, Pixel Fold 8, and 8 Pro. They're hundreds of pages length. You get step-by instructions to assemble or disassemble your Pixel device, as well as remove and replace parts. And they have a whole bunch of repair companies that are authorized to fix your Pixel 8, I guess. This is cool. Nice on Google to do that. Big win by Amazon. Amazon won a top EU court clash over a $250 million tax bill. And this is a win. They won its legal battle with the European Union. And the EU's Court of Justice on Thursday said the European Commission failed to establish a tax arrangement between Amazon and Luxembourg with state aid that was incompatible with the internal market. The ruling is another painful defeat of the EU's competition chief, Margaret Vestager, who led a decade-long campaign against sweetheart tax deals doled out to big companies by member states. If you remember, she slapped Apple with a record $13 billion order in landmark cars that now hinges on a final ruling, which if Amazon won, this could go Apple's way too. A court advisor last month said judges should topple the iPhone maker's earlier court success. Well, the court is hugely limiting what we can do in order to make sure that companies pay their fair share of taxes. We still have quite some way to go despite what we've done last 10 years in order to secure tax justice. Amazon said the ruling confirms it followed all applicable laws and received no special treatment. I don't like what the EU is doing in a lot of cases, so good on Amazon. Microsoft, meanwhile, has seized criminal website used to make millions of fake Windows accounts. 750 million dodgy Microsoft accounts were created and sold. And they basically have plans to take down the number one seller of fraudulent accounts for its online platform used for scams. And basically, they've got a court order to do so. Microsoft, on December 7th, Microsoft granted a court order from the Southern District of New York to seize infrastructure used by Storm 1152. The action took down the group's website and social media pages, disrupting its services to illegal customers. They'll just pick up and move somewhere else. Google is going to turn off third-party tracking for some Chrome users soon. This is the end of the my brain has cookies. This is the end of cookies. Google's planning to implement this a new tracking protection feature in Chrome begins in January. They're going to implement this in about 1% of Chrome users, and basically taking blocking access to cookies. If you're randomly selected to try track protection, Google will notify you when opening Chrome on your desktop or Android. If there are issues detected by Chrome while you're browsing, a prompt will appear asking if you'd like to temporarily re-enable third-party cookies for the site. Google's been working on a way to limit the need for cookies in Chrome since 2020. The Topics API launched in July for developers to begin testing, became available for Chrome users to try in September. So basically, Google's approach to cookie-free advertising sounds helpful to both, but again, are they just getting more of the information because they're getting ready to do a VPN? That's the question. And I've seen other people starting to make commentary on that. Cadillac announces fourth new electric SUV due in 2026 called the Vistique. The news follows last month's reveal of an entry-level Cadillac, the Optique EV. And Cadillac sure loves the letter Q. And size-wise, the Vistique slots between the Lyrics and the ginormous Escalade, due for model 2025. And I actually heard the Ford Edge. This is the last year, 2024 will be the last year of the Ford Edge. I'm quite disappointed. I really like my Ford Edge. So I'm not in the market for a new vehicle, but by the time I am, probably Ford Edge will not be an option unless I buy a used vehicle. AT&T is Rivian's latest EV customer. AT&T will plot new Rivian-made fleet electric vehicles in 2024 in a deal that breaks the automaker out of its exclusive agreement with Amazon. Basically, AT&T is Rivian's first customer to purchase commercial EVs outside the automaker's long exclusive deal. And did they say how many they're going to buy? They don't. But we know that Amazon agreed to purchase 100,000 delivery vans from Rivian, but the retail only met bare minimum orders of 10,000 units per year, adding fuel for Rivian to try and end its exclusive agreement. AT&T's first Rivian EV expected to join the fleet in early 2024. Acer has unleashed AI-powered MacBook Air rivals with new Intel Core Ultra technology. To coincide with the launch of Intel's new Core Ultra laptop processor, Acer's announced two overhauled laptops that make full use of the AI features of Intel's new chips in Windows 11. The first laptop is the Acer SwiftGo 14. And what's the other one? I don't find the... Okay, where's the price? Okay, so the price is going to be available, or it's going to be available in January, starting at $799. In the UK, you have to wait a little bit longer, and it'll be available for £899. And some gaming laptops are getting some love as well. I'm sure we'll see a lot of this stuff at CES. We talked about Beeper on the last episode. Beeper says Apple's blocking some iMessages. After investigating reports that some users aren't getting iMessages on Beeper Mini and Beeper Cloud, Beeper says that Apple seems to be deliberately blocking iMessages to be delivered to about 5% of Beeper Mini users. The company says that uninstalling and reinstalling the app fixes the issue and that it's working on a broader fix. Apple didn't immediately reply to requests for comment about Beeper's new claim and has replied to any request for comment as well. But given the company's already blocked Beeper Mini before, it's not too surprising that it seems to be taking action against the app again. They don't want iMessage outside of the iPhone because that drives decline in sales in iPhone. The Pope Francis, has called for a legally binding international treaty to regulate AI, saying algorithms must not be allowed to replace human values, and warning of a technological dictatorship threatened human existence. He made this call in a message for the Roman Catholic Church World Day of Peace, which is celebrating January 1st. The title of the message, which traditionally sent to world leaders and heads of institutions such as the UN, is Artificial Intelligence and Peace. So the Pope's getting in on the AI commentary. GM's Cruise has shed 9 exec in the name of safety and integrity. GM self-driving taxi outfit Cruise has dismissed 9 execs, including chief operating officer, after staff withheld information regarding an incident in which a woman was injured. Today, following initial analysis of the October 2nd incident and Cruise response to it, key leaders from legal, government affairs, and commercial operations, as well as safety and systems, have been fired. As a company, we're committed to full transparency and focus on rebuilding trust and operating with the highest standards when it comes to safety, integrity, and accountability. So they have to do something. Instagram. Now, this is where we're going to have to start watching things. You're not going to know what to trust. This is where podcasts can be trusted. Instagram introduces Gen AI-powered background editing tool. Let me say that again. Instagram has introduced Gen AI-powered background editing tool. And looking at this, you can replace the backgrounds. You could be laying on your bed. You can strip that out and replace it with grass. So just be aware that what you see now on Instagram may not always be the real deal. We've got all kinds of editing for people to change themselves from looking from 70 to 40, and all kinds of filters to make people pretty that are ugly. So Instagram, you're not going to know what to believe. But podcasts with original voices like mine, content you can trust. Suffering from tab overload? And boy, I tell you, you ought to see my computer in the office. It's got like probably 40 tabs. I tried cleaning it up today. Vivaldi unveils session panels. Vivaldi, the browser for users who just can't get enough settings, has launched version 6.5 of its software on desktop and mobile. So if you've tried Vivaldi, this thing is like it basically lets you save sessions, and basically have a set of browser windows for one thing and something for something else. So definitely, if you are a control freak, Vivaldi might be the browser for you to give a try. And a big surprising move here, LinkedIn has shelved plans to move to Microsoft Azure, opting to keep physical data centers. Now, this is really remarkable because Microsoft owns LinkedIn. The U-turn results setback for Microsoft, which is chasing Amazon Web Service and a lucrative cloud infrastructure market, has been counting on cloud tech and services to fuel much of its growth. LinkedIn Vice President of Engineering wrote 2019 blog post announcing Blue Shift that moving to Azure will give us access to a wide array of hardware and software innovation, unprecedented global scale. A document viewed by CNBC says LinkedIn and Microsoft together agreed to hold off on trying to get LinkedIn's website running on Azure. A LinkedIn spokesperson confirmed that the Microsoft subsidiary changed directions on Blue Shift and said LinkedIn continues to use Azure in some instances. Okay, well, we will see. Intel wants to run AI on CPUs and says its 5th generation Xeons are the ones to do it. But the problem is, the new chips can be had up to 64 cores. but that's all. For a chip launching the EVA 2024, that's not a whole lot of cores. AMD hit that mark in 2019 with the launch of EPYC 2, and most chip makers, including several other of the cloud providers, are now deploying chips with 72, 96, or 128 more cores. Come on, Intel. What's wrong with you guys? Well, might think Intel would be using more chiplets to increase core counts, similar to how AMD boosted the EPYC 4 parts to 96 cores. They're not. So, but they show some performance stuff, and it's done pretty good. But I don't know. Why are you lagging, Intel? This is very bizarre and shows you why you need to have a trusted voice when you're getting your content. Channel 1 News unveils AI-generated newscasts. The startup, co-founded by Scott Zibliski and Adam Mossam, plans to launch in 2024. They aim to produce 500 to 1,000 daily segments for user consumption. The content is so-called, vetted by human editors and sourced from trusted news, but even an AI individual is the one doing the video. And it's pretty convincing. Channel 1's news innovative approach to AI-generated news, combining life-like avatars with human oversight, trusted sources, could disrupt the news market by offering a personalized, reliable news watching experience while countering misinformation, ensuring global accessibility. So, the newscasters, your jobs are now in jeopardy, being replaced by AI. Amazon, and I read a lot of books. Amazon's new Your Books hub will nudge you to buy more books. And so I haven't looked at this new feature at all because I pay a subscription to get free books. But I'll keep an eye on this. If any of you have any experience with this new Your Books hub, please let me know. But be on the lookout for it, all right? GM says it's ditching Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to prevent distracted drivers. Or is it because they want to harvest data and make lots of money from it? Now, I am a big fan of Apple CarPlay, and I use it almost exclusively in my car. And if I can't use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in a vehicle that I purchase, well, guess what? I won't buy that brand of vehicle. This is stupidity. But car manufacturers are trying to gain more knowledge about us and selling that data to data brokers. Now, here's a scary comment. H&R Block is launching an AI tax filing assistant. AI Tax Assistant, actually paid versions of H&R Block's do-it-yourself tax software, lets users ask questions on tax rules, possible exemptions, and other related issues. Will the AI advice keep me from getting an audit? Will I take the deduction that the AI has suggested and be okay when the IRS reviews it? Okay. They say they're doing this because many users often turn to Google when they're confused about how to file their taxes. Well, now, IRS has got great documentation on their website. And I use a CPA and I pay dearly for it every year. So, worth it. Keeps me square. I'm told what I can and can't do. And I sleep better because of it. So, never going to guarantee that you're not going to be audited, but paying the CPA to make sure I'm not doing something stupid is as valuable. All right, folks, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. We're done for Thursday. Geeknews@gmail.com. Geeknews@gmail.com. Consider at this time becoming a reoccurring subscriber to the show. I would like to be able, in the next 2 or 3 months, to get at least 300 of you at a $5 a month commitment, or 600 of you or 700 or 800 of you at $2. geeknewscentral.com/insider. Please consider becoming a contributor and becoming an insider to the show. Ultimately, I'd like to see us be able to get monthly contributions near the $3,000 range, because that's just about what it costs to run this operation here monthly. It's about $3,000. And not looking for it to be a profit center, just looking to keep the lights on, keep us from going backwards. So consider becoming a Geek News Central insider, geeknewscentral.com/insider, or start using one of those new podcast apps in streaming Satoshis to me. That could be at 100 Satoshis a minute or 500 Satoshis a minute. It would definitely be appreciated to do so. Consider both options. And when you move to those new podcast apps, there's other shows on there that you can support financially as well that are participating in the Podcast 2.0 ecostructure. If I'm bringing you value on the show, consider providing value back: time, talent, or treasure. If you want to help contribute to the show and basically writing articles for the website, that would be great. Talent, we're getting ready to have to move the website and a whole bunch of stuff over the next month. I got to get on new server infrastructure, and that's quite a pain in the butt to do. So if you're an IT guy and want to help with the move, definitely could use some help in that regards as well, especially if you're a WordPress guru. Just let me know. Definitely time, talent, or treasure being your dollars, and it's greatly appreciated. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for being here, and be back on Monday with another edition of the Geek News Central podcast. Take care, be safe,